In the early morning, a faint ray of sunlight poured into the room, illuminating Zhuo Fan's calm face. The eyelids shook slightly. Zhuo Fan opened his hazy sleeping eyes, glanced at the jade man in his arms, and revealed a rare serene smile. In the past few days, he and Chu Qingcheng recalled their childhood life as if they were playing games and playing house wine. They worked like ordinary people during the day and sleep at night. Although there is no skin relative, but relying on each other, there is a sense of tranquility. This feeling is unprecedented for Zhuofan, a big devil without a relative or cause. Perhaps this is the warmth of the family. Looking at the jade man in his arms again, Zhuofan didn't feel a bit dazed. Chu Picheng's peerless appearance is simply a disaster for the country and the people. The so-called gentle township, hero tomb. Zhuofan felt it thoroughly this time. As long as he could live like this with Chu Qingcheng, he didn't care about anything. Regardless of his great career in spring and autumn, and his control of the world, how can he be as good as a smile? Perhaps this is called depravity. But what about that? Lao Tzu wants to fall like this, ha ha ha. Zhuofan laughed in his heart without changing the character of the devil. Seeing Chu Qingcheng leaning on his chest, his eyelids moved slightly with the ups and downs of his chest. Zhuofan unconsciously lowered his head and wanted a kiss. Woo! Suddenly, the sound of breaking the sky sounded. Zhuofan still had a chance in the future. Chu Qingcheng suddenly opened his eyes, pulled his shirt, and flashed out of the house instantly bump. At the same time, with a loud noise, the entire hut instantly turned to fly ash. And in the dust, a figure appeared. It was Wang Puqingyan, who was all angry. Especially when he saw Zhuofan and Chu Qingcheng's tightly interlocking hands. The color of anger in his eyes was even worse. And the look in Zhuofan's eyes was like eating him. Nima, the house that Lao Tzu just made up, so you destroyed it. Emperor Puqingyan was angry. Zhuofan was even more angry. But this was the cozy cottage he had stayed with Chu Qingcheng in the past 2 days. His grandma is so deceiving, isn't it, when I'm not tempered? It seems that these days of leisure have long made him forget, and he is dressed as Song Yu. In Zhuofan's eyes, a naked murderous intention flashed, and he made a slight step forward, and was ready to smash the Emperor Puqingyan. But at this time, Chu Qingcheng was stopped in front of him, and whispered, Song Yu, hide behind me. After a quick step, Zhuofan finally woke up and released his tight fists. Now he can't do it, otherwise he will give the Emperor Gate a verbal attack on Huailao. In this way, all his plans were ruined. Alas! These past few days have been really leisurely, and I have forgotten even the business. Zhuofan scolded under his heart, took a breath, and looked at Chu Qingcheng. Road Qingcheng. Then here is yours. Allure. The pupils shrank sharply, and Emperor Puqingyan smiled coldly. Good call, dear. A pair of adulterers and prostitutes. This sun must make you die today. Huang Puqingyan, put your mouth clean. Who is the adulterer? Chu Qingcheng's eyes glared and said coldly. Do you want me to say that? Chu Qingcheng, when we all sworn, your veil would be revealed for me. But now, you have first seen the true face for this kid. His eyes narrowed slightly, and a cold awe flashed in Chu Qingcheng's eyes. Huang Puqingyan, you are the first to betray the righteousness. How can I lift the veil for you? Wait a minute, why am I a bit confused at this time? Zhuofan became more and more confused. Although he had decided in his heart that he would not want this kid's head in a few days, but he also wanted to find out why. Take a veil, you are about to kill, you are too stingy. Even if Qingcheng is your sweetheart, then you can't help but let people see. I didn't grab your wife. He didn't say it was okay. As soon as he said this, Wang Puqingyan saw even more murderous intentions. Smelly boy, he pretends to be confused, and the boy will finish you today. As soon as the voice fell, Wang Puqingyan punched out from a distance. Although he was 100 feet away from Zhuofan, a golden sharpness was suddenly shot from his fist, blinking. The pupils shrank. Zhuo Fan was terrified. How does this person refine the body, although it is not as good as his secret art refinement, but it is also regarded as the superior body refinement. It can actually push the energy in the body, if it is actually so far away. Generally speaking, even if you are a master of heavenly profound realm. If you want to kill the master of forging bone realm, although it is simple, it must be very close, otherwise you only cannot penetrate the iron bone of the master of forging bone. But this strength is different. Zhuo Fan believes that it can really penetrate an ordinary forging bone master. However, his physical strength is not comparable to that of ordinary people. And he can naturally resist this energy.